Hey, Algebra 1 kids, this is Dr. Callahan. How are you guys doing? Welcome to week 13, Friday. So go ahead and pause the video and take a look at your 3 questions for your warm-up log. Just to go ahead and reflect on a few things, this actually is week number 13. And you guys have exactly, after this week, you have about 4 weeks left until the final. So we are getting closer and closer to the very end. So that's exciting. All right, so last time I saw you guys, we talked about domain and range. I gave you guys like a series of questions and like graphs, and you had to tell me where does the graph go left to right, up and down for the domain and range. And so today I'm going to continue with that. So, and also I'm going to do a review on elimination. So take a look at this right here. And we're also going to do a game called Dead or Alive, and so we'll do this together in class as well. So turn over to your guided notes. It is for week 13, Friday. So this is your first page. This is your second page right here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get started with the game on the Dead or Alive. So go ahead and turn over to this template. Okay, so you're going to give me your answer right here at the end to tell me whether you're dead or alive, and you're going to be counting down your lifelines. So this is how it works. You're going to have 5 lifelines, and hopefully by the end of this, you are still alive. So let's go and take a look at this. First question, okay? You need to tell me what is domain, what is a range, and if it is a function. So pause the video and answer those 3 questions under box number 1. All right, so when you're looking at your domain, the domain is how far do you go to the left and how far do you go to the right. So looking at this right here, you're starting at 2. It is going to be a bracket, and you're going all the way to 3, but it is going to be a parenthesis because it's an open circle. Your range, you're looking at how far up do you go, and it looks like you're at 3. And then for the range, you're going to see how low you go, and it's at 1. So that is your answer. Is it a function? It is, because the AlgS is not repeating. Okay, let's take a look over here. Question number 2. What is a domain? What is a range? And if it is a function. So pause the video and copy this down under box number 2. If you're like, what box are we in? Which one are you sure about that? We are actually on this box right here, box number 2. So for box number 1, make sure you write if you're dead or still alive. So pause the video, answer the following question. All right, so for your domain, once again, for the domain, you're looking at how far are you going over to the left side. You are at -4. And then you're looking to see how far you go on the right side, and it is over to +4, but it's an open circle, so it is going to be a parenthesis. The range, you're looking at how far low do you go with this graph, and it looks like it stops at -4, and it's a closed circle. And then how far do you start on top, and it looks like it's at -2. And it is also actually a closed circle, so it looks like this. Is it a function? Yes, it is, because if I draw a straight line, it only touches this graph at one point, so it's a function. Question number 3. Go ahead and pause the video and answer the following question: domain, range, and function. For the domain, you are starting off at -4, and it's an open circle, so parenthesis. How far are you going to the right? It is up to 3, open parenthesis, open circle, so it is going to be parenthesis. Range, you're looking at how far up and down. So in terms of up, it stops right here at 4, so that's how far it goes, open parenthesis. And then range, how far low does it go? It goes out to -2. So open parenthesis. And is it a function? Yes, it is. All right, let's take a look at number 4. So you're on number 4 now. For number 4, what is a domain, range, and is it a function? So go ahead and pause the video and answer the following questions. Okay, so domain is how far to the left do you go? It's at -5, and it is a closed circle, so it's a bracket. How far do you go to the right side? It is going to be at -1, and I'm just going to use a parenthesis for this one. Range is how far up do you go? It looks like you start at 2, and then how far below did you go? -2. Open parenthesis there. Is it a function? Uh-oh, if I draw a straight line, it is not a function because it touches twice, so no. Question number 5. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Pause the video and ask yourself, what is a domain, what is the range, and is it a function? Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this then. The domain is going to be how far do you go over to the left side? And it looks like it is at -5. And then how far do you go over to the right side? And it is at +3 with a bracket. With the range, we are seeing how far up do you go? And it looks like it's at 4, open parenthesis. And then how far below do you get to? -2, open parenthesis. Is it a function? Well, if I draw a straight line, it touches us at 2 points, so no, it's not a function. Number 6, pause the video and answer the following questions. What is a domain? What's a range? And is it a function? Okay, so the domain is how far to the right do you go to? It's at 2, close parenthesis. How far do you go to the left? Whoops, actually that's the wrong picture. Like this way, there you go. -3, brackets. And then with the range, how far up do you go? It looks like it go all the way up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a bracket. And then how far below did you go to? -5 with a bracket. And is it a function? Yeah, because if I draw a line, it only touches it once. So it is yes. Okay, number 7, go ahead and pause the video and answer the following questions. With your domain, how far do I go to the right? It looks like it's at negative or +1, open parenthesis. How far does it go to the left? It is all the way to -5, open parenthesis. Now with the range, how far below did you go to? And this is at a -5, open parenthesis. And with the range going up, how far do you go up? To 1. And yes, this is a function. Number 8, identify the domain, range, and function. All right, the domain is how far do you go to the right side? It is at 3, open parenthesis. How far do you go over to the left side? It is at a -1, close parenthesis. And then let's take a look at the range. How far below do you get to here? It looks like it is at -4. And then how far up do you go to? It looks like it is at +4. Is it a function? If I draw a straight line, it touches it twice. So no, it is not a function. Okay, now we're gonna get a little bit creative. So for number 9, I want you to tell me what is a domain, the range, and is it a function? So go ahead and pause the video and answer the following questions. Okay, it looks like we're almost there, you guys. So just give me one more second and I'll be done with this. Okay, perfect. So let's go back to this one. Okay, so for number 9, what is a domain? The domain is how far you're going over to the right. It looks like you're starting at 2, so it's a closed circle. And then how far are you going over to the left? And it looks like you're at -2. Open circle. All right, with the range, you are seeing how far up do you go to, and it looks like it's at 4. And how far low did you go to? It's a -5 bracket. There we go. Is it a function? Yes, it is. Okay, this one's a little weird, okay? Domain is how far to the left do you go? Looks at S7. How far to the left do you go? -6, okay? Pretty easy after a while. And then take a look over here. How far up are you at? It is at 8, so close parenthesis or bracket. And then how far low do you get to? 3. And that's it. Is it a function? I think so. Anytime I draw a straight line here, it only touches this once. So I'm just gonna put yup, it's a function. Number 11, pause the video and identify, is it a domain, range, and is it a function? Okay, the domain, once again, is how far do you go to the right, and it's at 4, open parenthesis. How far does it go to the left, and it's a -4, close parenthesis. Now let's talk about range. Range is how far up do you go to? It's at 4, close parenthesis. And then how low do you get down to? It's at -3, close parenthesis. Is it a function? Yes, it is, because anytime I draw a straight line, it only touches the graph once. Number 12, domain. This is kind of a weird one, okay? So how far does your domain go? It is, whoops, that's not the correct thing. You could, domain is going all the way over here, which is at 1, close parenthesis. How far do you go over to the left side? It is at -3, open parenthesis. Then for your range, how far up do you go to? Well, if you look at the graph, it doesn't actually pass 0. And then how far below and down do you go to? And it looks like it's at -4. And is it a function? Yes, it is. Number 13, pause the video, identify the domain, range, and if it's a function. All right, the domain is how far do you go over to the right side? To the right, you're at 5. How far do you go over to the left side? -4. And then range, how far up do you go to? It looks like you start at 3, bracket. How far down do you get to? -3. Is it a function? Yes, it is. Almost there, you guys. Number 14, what is your domain? So how far over do you get to? In terms of that, if I look at this, it looks like that 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5. So my domain is going to be at 5. How far does it get over to this side? -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So -5. Oh, and that should be a bracket. And then your range is how far up do you go to? It looks like we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then how far down do you get to? And it looks like it is at 0. And is it a function? Well, it's not going to be a function if you come over here because it does touch this at 2 points. So I will just say not a function. Number 15, domain, range, and is it a function? So if I look at the domain, how far is it going to keep going? Do you see the little arrows right here? It means it's going to get further and further and further over. So it's going to be to a negative infinity. And then also positive infinity because it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. So negative infinity to positive infinity, and it's parentheses because I don't know what 100 bazillion looks like. So there's no definite answer for that. Range, how far is it going to keep going up? Well, this will keep going up further and further. So I will say positive infinity. But then how low does it get to? Well, it gets to -3 and it stops. So that will be a bracket. And is it a function? Yes, it is. Last one, you guys. For number 16, you create your own graph and find the domain and range. This is my crazy graph. You guys get to go ahead and create your own and then find the answers to that. All right, so now that we've done this for several times, what I want you guys to do then is go ahead and take a look at this part here. This is a review of the elimination system. So I want you guys to go ahead and practice with these 2 pages. And then when you are done with that, I want you to do a Quizlet with me. So turn over here, grab your iPad or laptop or whatever you have, and you're going to type in this link right here. Capitalization does matter. And when you type it in, it should take you to this page right here. And there are 33 cards, and it is basically having you to match. If the answer is negative infinity to positive infinity for domain, which graph doesn't match? Negative infinity to positive infinity. I'm going to say this one here. And I'm correct, so yay. Next one is not a function. So which one is not a function? If I say this one, I am correct. I just guessed it. Next one is negative infinity to positive infinity. Which one here shows the range of negative infinity to positive infinity? If I put this one, actually that's not correct. So I'm not sure why I said it is correct. But go through the following and take a look to see which one is a function, not a function, domain, and range. All right, you guys, thanks for staying here with me. And as always, stay safe and healthy. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.